The moon hung high and heavy over Bull Shoals Lake, its silvery light doing little to pierce the thick Ozark mist. All was quiet, save for the gentle lapping of water and the distant hum of cicadas. That peace was shattered when a shrill alarm cut through the night from the Ozark Pickle pantry. Down in the cool, damp depths of the Bull Shoals caverns, a horde of vinegar-vexed zombies, animated by a spoiled batch of radioactive moonshine, had clawed their way to the surface. They didn't crave brains. Their singular shuffling purpose was to acquire the legendary Ozark Sweet and Tangy Crunch. The Ozark Avengers were alerted at once. In a dusty corner of an old workshop, the screen of a 1950s Zenith tabletop TV, known as BRO, the Oracle, flickered to life. Its usual static gave way to a pulsing green oscilloscope wave as it detected the seismic shifts of hundreds of shuffling, brine-soaked feet. An emergency signal was instantly broadcast across every screen in town. Miles away, the signal reached the cabin of old Tom Brown. The 7-foot giant didn't even bother with his boots. He simply stood, his presence filling the room, and scooped up Sugar, a dainty Siamese kitten, who immediately perched on his massive shoulder. Her cream-colored fur was a stark contrast to his faded denim overalls, and her eyes began to emit a soft violet light, cutting through the encroaching mist like high beams. At the Bull Shoals Dam, Cousin Rosemary, a woman as tough and timeless as the Ozark Hills themselves, was already preparing. The 75-year-old matriarch racked a custom-built shotgun designed to fire concentrated blasts of brine. "Nobody," she growled, her voice like gravel, "touches the bread and butters on my watch." The main confrontation was at the dam. The zombies, surprisingly organized, had formed a shambling bucket brigade, passing gallon jars of dill pickles from the pantry towards a makeshift getaway raft. High above on the top O, the Ozark Tower, a lean figure in a black frock coat took his position. Doc Holliday, the ghostly gambler, raised his nickel-plated revolver. With the surgical precision of a master surgeon or a card sharp, he began disarming the zombies, shooting the jars directly out of their clumsy hands, sending glass and vinegar everywhere. But for every jar Doc shattered, 10 more took its place. The horde was too numerous. Just as their relentless advance seemed to overwhelm the dam's defenders, a new sound filled the air. It wasn't a groan or a splash. It was a distorted, staticky polka tune. Seated behind a chrome 1950s radio microphone that hovered in midair, the translucent blue form of the Bull Shoals boogeyman faded into view. He twisted the ethereal dials of his phantom console, and the music warped into a high-frequency screech that scrambled the zombies' already addled brains, causing them to stumble in confusion. The momentary chaos gave another hero time to appear. From the edge of the forest, a figure in forest green robes emerged, his long silver beard flowing and his gold eyes glowing with ancient power. It was Merlin. "This is an affront to all natural things," he declared, striking his rowan woodstaff on the ground. He began to chant in a language that predated the hills, and a shimmering field of energy enveloped the zombies, causing the radioactive moonshine within them to lose its potency. They slowed, their movements becoming even more sluggish. The situation, however, was still critical. The sheer amount of radioactive brine spilling everywhere was a hazard. Suddenly, a silent blue beam of light descended from the sky. A sleek silver platform materialized, and on it stood Zero Antarctica. The classic gray Leon raised a metallic device. "Biohazard detected," a synthesized voice echoed, neutralizing. A wide-field energy wave pulsed from the device, rendering the spilled radioactive moonshine inert and harmless. Just as the heroes gained the upper hand, the zombie leader, a former local mayor, in a tattered suit played his trump card. He held aloft a single glowing pickle, the golden spear. Its unnatural light seemed to reinvigorate the entire horde. They shook off the effects of the music and magic and surged forward. But another avenger was ready. Elias, the guitar dude, his face grim, struck a single, heavy, distorted chord on his battered hummingbird acoustic. The sound wave, filled with pure Ozark grit, was more powerful than any sonic screech. A golden spear vibrated, and then, along with every other pickle jar held by the zombies, it shattered. The entire horde was drenched in high acidity vinegar. As the zombies hissed and recoiled from the acidic bath, Miss Chrissy, the Ozark witch, saw her moment. With a flick of her wrist, she tossed a family-sized bag of Oreos into the center of the undead. This was the signal for the final, bizarre assault. Grumpy the buzzard, who had been circling impatiently overhead, dove. He landed among the cookies and began his famous rhythmic stepping dance, creating a hypnotic, swirling vortex of black feathers and cookie dust. The combination of acidic brine, sonic confusion, magical interference, and now a cookie dust whirlwind was too much. Confused, smelling strongly of dill, and strangely craving milk, the zombies gave up their quest. They turned as one and wandered back into the 59-degree darkness of the Bull Shoals caverns. The aftermath was quiet. The victorious team gathered at the grill at Whispering Woods. A figure in matte black plate armor, the Black Knight, used his massive steel longsword to expertly slice the few remaining cucumbers for a victory round of fried pickles. Old Tom Brown took a deep, satisfied breath and gently patted a purring sugar on his shoulder. "The brine is safe," he rumbled, his voice a gentle thunder. He looked at the empty Oreo bag. "But we're gonna need more Oreos."